The arrival of the first Australian-led expedition to Antarctica 100 years ago will soon be celebrated on the frozen continent. Modern-day expeditioners will tonight leave Hobart for Commonwealth Bay to mark the centenary of Sir Douglas Mawson and his team's arrival in Antarctica. That first voyage has been credited for putting science at the forefront of subsequent Antarctic expeditions.
Sir Douglas Mawson was the first person to set foot in East Antarctica and the first leader of an Australian expedition to the frozen continent 100 years ago.
That was the beginning of Australia's very significant involvement in Antarctica, and it stands to this day as a heroic expedition.
To mark the anniversary of that expedition, a team including scientists, a historian and an artist are hoping to make it to Mawson's huts at Commonwealth Bay within a week.
We'll do a small service. We've got a time capsule that we'll be interring.
That first expedition will be remembered as a game changer for Antarctic exploration, where the focus moved from empire building to scientific endeavour.
For that we are eternally grateful, because the science that we currently do is really important to answer some of the world's great questions.
The quest for answers to those questions will continue on this voyage with a focus on marine science.
We hope on this trip to repeat some oceanographic measurements that Mawson made 100 years ago, and that'll be fantastic. It's one of the few places in the world ocean where we have measurements that would stretch back over 100 years.
But getting there to mark the centenary is not guaranteed. Difficult ice conditions have meant a number of ships have recently been unable to get into Commonwealth Bay. It's hoped the ice-breaking capabilities of the Aurora Australis and good weather will allow expeditioners to go ashore to pay tribute to Australia's Antarctic pioneers. Fiona Blackwood, ABC News.
On board the Aurora Australis as it sails tonight is ABC reporter Karen Barlow. Just before she boarded the icebreaker, I asked Karen about what she expected on the trip.
Well, my expectations are to get onto the continent and witness the commemorations for Sir Douglas Mawson. There'll be a party going onto the continent to do speeches, a flag-raising ceremony, inspect the Mawson's huts, and there'll be a time capsule that'll be going into the ground, which has a message from the Prime Minister, and expecting great weather and a fantastic day.
You've got to get to the frozen continent first. Are you prepared with what the Southern Ocean can dish up as it did 100 years ago?
Oh yeah, well I've taken my seasickness tablets and I'm ready for anything. I understand it'll be about 20 to 25 knots as we head down the Tasmanian coast, and I'm ready for the roaring 40s and the furious 50s.
Tourist trips to the area have already been disrupted by heavy ice. What's the latest situation in Commonwealth Bay, and will the Aurora Australis be able to get all the way to Mawson's hut?
The ice is not moving, but we have helicopters on board and we'll be able to ferry the party onto the continent and take part in this fantastic ceremony. And there will be tourist ships trying to still get down there, and we'll see how they go. But in amongst the ice, it's a fabulous experience.
And how will we be able to keep track with your adventures down there?
On the ABC News blog and through Twitter as well. So fantastic photos. We hope will be coming back, and we'll be documenting everything that takes place on the Aurora Australis.